It's January 1st, 2023, and this is our brand new Super Split HD. In today's video, we're going to drag it down to the Woodyard and test her out. Let's go. Truth be told, there's plenty to talk about regarding this HD, but before we get into all that, let's just split some wood. Alright, first things first, let's take a look at the horsepower behind this machine. These are the two 90-pound flywheels that store all the kinetic energy for this machine. When they're running and they're engaged, this pusher arm is actuated that forces the wood right through the wedge. Before we split any more wood and maybe do a live demonstration, let me step behind the camera and we'll take a little bit closer look at these flywheels. When I actuate this control arm up, it forces the rack gear down into the gears that are on the inside of the two flywheels. That's what forces the pusher arm out that ultimately splits the wood. The upgraded design of this Super Split HD is that this pusher arm rides on 4 bearings, not just 2 like the J model. That minimizes the amount of space between the pusher plate and the top of the I-beam. The positive in that is that there's less debris to interfere with the return stroke of that pusher arm. Even with the small amount of splitting that I've done today, you can see that there's already a little bit of buildup on top of the I-beam. One of the common maintenance things that you need to do with the Super Split HD is clean this off with a spray solvent to ensure that the roller bearing doesn't stop rolling and develop a flat spot, because that definitely will impede the return stroke of this pusher arm. Now, this normally isn't recommended, but we're going to get a good picture of what these flywheels look like when it's running. I'll split a couple of pieces of wood and we'll get some close-ups. Now, one of the things to note, because I have the extra wide production table, which is 10 inches longer and 6 inches wider and made of a heavier gauge metal, I have plenty of room for these larger rounds. To take half of it, set it off to one side while I split the rest of it into firewood sized pieces, then I can transition to the other half. Now, this is more of a preference thing, but because I have the tow hitch on here, which makes it super easy to move this thing around, before I start splitting, I like to stack up a few logs around it, just so it doesn't get damaged from all the wood that's falling off the production table. All right, before I talk about the wheels, let's put the cover back on. I think we've seen enough of these flywheels. Got to make sure I'm in the exact right spot. If that works out, that's going to be some cinematic gold, am I right? Putting this cowling back in place. Anyway, let's talk about the tires. These are off-road tires only. They're designed to be taken on the trail out to your Woodyard, towed behind your ATV. They are not designed to be towed on the road. It would be a nice upgrade option. It's certainly not a deal breaker, but do not take these on the road. If you want to take this to an off-site location to do some splitting, throw it on a trailer. You'll get it there in no time. It's well worth it to have this super split on your side. One other thing of note with this particular production table, which is the upgraded version, it has the telescoping support legs. It allows you to stack a whole lot more wood on here so you don't have to bend over as much when you want to do some resplits. Just stack it here, pull it back around, send it through, chuck it off. So I'd say that's about it for the features of this particular machine. It does have a larger engine than the J model, which is worth noting. Other than that, she's tough, she's reliable, she was patented in 1978, and she's been basically the same ever since. These things have been in service for decades. Today I have a bunch more wood to split, so I'm going to see if I can make a dent in that. Just for the fun of it, we're going to do a time test between the super split and the old hydraulic splitter that I've been using up to this point. We're going to split these 4 rounds. I have another 4 rounds over here of similar size, and we're going to see what the time difference is at the end. Time. All right, we've had a little bit of a change of venue. I had to come out here to my father-in-law's wood yard. He has the old hydraulic splitter that he let me use for a long time to split wood. This thing is a workhorse. It is a tank. It has been in service since the 60s or the 70s. My father-in-law couldn't even tell me exactly when he got it. But the cycle time is probably 40 seconds to a minute, which is what originally got me to look into the Kinetic splitter. The Super Split HD, the cycle time is about 2 seconds. So it might be a little bit painful watching this. I'll speed up the footage so you can see it, but we're going to split these 4 rounds and we're going to compare that time to what we got with the Super Split, and we'll go from there. And time. So we're dodging raindrops out here, but you can see it's a lot slower than the HD, but it still gets the job done. Here's one of the joys of dodging raindrops out in the wood yard. On occasion you get something like this. It's a pretty impressive rainbow if you ask me. Catch you guys. So here's how it breaks down in a nutshell. The Super Split was 10 minutes faster than the hydraulic splitter. When we extrapolate that out, you can split a cord of wood with the Super Split in about 1 hour and 15 minutes. It would be almost 6 hours using that hydraulic splitter. You save time, you save your knees, and you save your sanity. It's the winning trifecta. If you ever thought about getting a Super Split, I'd say now's the time. And just like that, I'm going to call it a day. I'm not going to say that this is the perfect wood splitter, because it didn't stack any of that wood for me, but it's pretty much as close as you're going to get. Thanks for watching. See you next time.